DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of the morning show is Mr. Fred Lamkey, Superintendent of Mount Pulaski Schools. Good morning, Mr. Lamkey. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Seth. We're doing just fine in Mount Pulaski.
Good deal. And by the way, happy first day of school. I know most of the communities around us are headed back to school today, so happy first day of school to you, sir.
Yeah, it's outstanding right now. It's a beautiful day outside. We got your first worry anytime you're starting school up are the new bus routes and making sure nobody gets left behind. And haven't had a phone call yet, so I think we got everybody to school and kids are smiling, teachers are happy, and we're off to a good start so far.
For sure. Now, I know you and I have talked about this over the last few years, and you've gone through an extensive renovation of your school building, and it sounds like that, if I'm not mistaken, that finished up this summer. Is that right, Mr. Lamkey?
Well, no, it continues this summer. It's not finished yet, but we had a pretty big jump in our enrollment last year, and we required some more classrooms in our grade school. So we divided 2 classrooms into 4 in the grade school. And that renovation project just finished up, and it looks great. We got kids in their junior high classrooms now, and it's providing for the needs of the extra kids that we brought in. But we got more projects down the road. We're looking at renovating high school science labs next year. So it's kind of one of those continued processes where we're just taking it down one piece at a time.
Very good. So new classrooms, it sounds like, and obviously that's going to enhance the learning environment. Is that you talked about the enrollment jump, though, Mr. Lamkey? Is that permanent, you think, or is that just something temporary you're going to have to deal with?
Well, we were, you find out the next year, and we were wondering, are we going to jump again this year? But Mount Pulaski doesn't have any new construction going on right now. So the new enrollment that we got was just people moving out and families moving in. And so Mount Pulaski, it's an older community. We have a lot of people who've lived here their entire lives. But I think what's happening is you have some families who have raised their families and they're moving to smaller or different accommodations, and it's opening up the door for new families to come in. This year, we didn't see the jump, but we did maintain our enrollment. So that's a solid thing. So it's a good place to be. I'd like to see us get some new developments in Mount Pulaski so we can grow our building a little bit, but right now I think we're maintaining.
Very good. Well, that's good to hear. So what will be new this school year, Mr. Lamkey? Anything the students or the community will know regarding the school year? How about that?
Well, we did have a change from our athletic director's position. We've now moved it into an activities director, and our athletic director for the past 4 years has been Ryan McVickers. He did an outstanding job. But he was juggling being a varsity basketball coach, a high school, grade school PE teacher, and athletic director. And he did a great job with it, but it was just a lot on that and having a family. So he asked if he could just step himself into coaching and teaching, and we were able to accommodate him. And then we brought on Trent Kavelman to be our activities director. So that's new for us this year. And he is an administrator. He's a certified administrator, and he's going to play somewhat of an assistance role in our high school and our grade school. He's going to split times in both buildings, but his main focus is going to be an activities director and supporting our district activities.
That sounds good. So a lot of things happening in Mount Pulaski. And Mr. Lamkey, let's kind of dive into, the business of the new school year and those sorts of things. By the way, the summer at Mount Pulaski, did you do anything like within the buildings to improve things as far as, I know you do the general maintenance of waxing the floors, and I don't know if there's any painting done, keeping things clean and up to date, any of that stuff that stood out from the summer?
We had some small projects we did. We did some fencing projects around the buildings. One concern I've always had is that you come in our front and back doors and all you see our garbage containers. We fenced those in. We did some privacy fencing. We're really proud down at the high school. We're kind of getting to that place where there were some small things we didn't finish with construction, but like we laid some new sod in front of the building just in time for the drop when it hit us, so we managed to save it. And so we're kind of doing those finishing touches over there too. So it looks really nice. I'm really proud of our maintenance staff and where they've got us to be. Next year, as I said, our focus is going to be working on our 1963 high school building. renovated everything else except that piece of the building. The high school science labs are still from the early 1960s. So next year, our goal is to bring them up to date and to get our students better instructional settings in those labs. So that'll be next year's project we'll be working on. Seems like it's nonstop. It's one thing after another.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Is the facilities, when you talk about facility improvements, Mr. Lamkey, is this something that the school board continues to look at and evaluate? Like, is there a plan in place or anything like that?
Every year we create a capital projects plan and we survey ourselves. And it's funny how much can change from year to year because perspective and need changes. But every year we'll be approving our capital projects plan at next Monday's meeting. And it's not a set in stone, but it kind of gives us, here's the direction of where we want to go. So, for example, we thought about doing the high school science lab renovations this summer, but we had the grade school project. We didn't want to take on two at one time. So we put that on the back burner. We're going to start it next year. So it's just kind of a to-do list for us to look at as we go down the line. And there's some projects that might be 10 years out, but they're still on the list because they're in the back of our minds and we know we need improvements in some different areas.
So when it comes to obviously financing those things, Mr. Lamkey, how does Mount Pulaski afford those?
Well, the wind farms that we've developed over the last couple of years, we have 2 wind farms that have greatly increased our revenues. Our EAB has gone up $50 million since I've been here. That's just new tax revenues that are coming in our building. And we've been able in that time as well. The first year I was here, our tax rate was 5.30. And our tax rate right now is going to be at 4.90. So we're able to drop 40 cents off our tax rate while being able to do a new high school, while being able to do all the instructional improvements and the things we've done in the district. So the new EAB has allowed us to spend more money and ask less of the taxpayers. So that's worked out very well for us.
Do you put any of that money away? Like, is it pretty flexible funding in terms of like where it can go within your budget?
Yeah, and when you levy those things, like for example, you levy for the ed fund. So right now we do have a nice reserve in our ed fund, and that's what we're going to be looking at next year's project at the high school and using that money to do that. So like each one of our funds, we try and maintain at least a half a year's expenditures. And for example, the pandemic year, we weren't sure they were going to collect property taxes, but we still have to open our doors and have school. And if property taxes don't come in, that's 85% of our revenues for the district. Mm-hmm. So we have enough money in all of our funds that we can get through half a year without any new money from the state or from local taxes. And that's our goal, to have that cushion every year for the just in case.
Right.
And so that's what we shoot for with that. And again, because our EAB has gone up so much, we've actually been able to lower our taxes in different areas because we don't have to ask as much of the taxpayer because we have a greater amount of land and properties that are being taxed now with the wind farm coming in.
Well, and so my question is kind of devil's advocate, if you will, but a lot of the opponents of wind farms, make note of the fact that those are going to depreciate. So that would logically take us to the conclusion that you're probably going to have to re-raise those taxes when those things depreciate. How about that?
That's in the back of our mind all the time because the depreciation happens slowly over 20 years. And I think our fortune is that we brought one wind farm in 5 years ago, another one in 3 years ago, and then we have 2 more wind farms that are coming in. So we're spaced out that we're not going to take a big hit in any one year. And one conversation that we're having is that we do need to increase our value of our properties in the district, either by attracting business, by attracting new buildings, homes, so we can build up that EAB so we can maintain that standard of life that we have. But right now, we're really set for 20 years, and this board is very aware that we have to live within our means and understand that these wind farms could depreciate out in 20 years' time. The other side of it is it's technology. I know in Hartsburg, they got one of the first wind farms in Logan County, and they're retooling their wind turbines right now to go another 20 years. So I think you have to kind of count on the fact there's going to be other opportunities in the future, but you can't make that be your whole plan. You have to think, how can we save enough money, have enough in reserve? How can we get our tax rates to a place that's comfortable for our taxpayers and allows the district to function at a high level.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a balancing game.
Well, and I wonder, Mr. Lamkey, I mean, obviously this affords you a lot of opportunity. Right now it's facilities, but down the road, what could those dollars afford in terms of opportunity for Mount Pulaski? Like I'm sitting here thinking, I know I joked with you about it at one point, but like turfing your baseball field and your softball complex, or maybe adding programs, whether it's sports programs or something of that nature. What would financially opportunities provide for the district down the road once you've addressed facilities to your liking and those sorts of things?
Well, districts that picked up the sales tax, or counties that did, like Macon County and Sangamon County, they've had that for a few years now. They're getting to the point where they're upgrading their school facilities or classrooms or campuses that now they are having extra money. So if you go to someplace like Riverton, or you go to Meridian, if you go to North Mac and Burton, they have enough money that they are doing those turf fields. We're not close to that yet because we still have a lot of things we need to do instructionally to support our educational services. But we do have eyes down the road. As I said, with our capital projects plan, we do have projects that are part of our athletic complex. We have a track, but it's only a track by name. We definitely recognize that we need to get a better track facility for our students, and we'd like to do that as soon as we can. We have a nice baseball facility, and it works out very nice for us. But we don't own any of the properties that these are on. So we're also looking at the potential of maybe buying these properties so the district can maintain them, and we're investing our money in our own properties too. So those are all kind of part of that capital projects plan as we roll down. The board prioritizes that every year about what direction we need to go. And what the dream is that you get done with everything you need to do, and then you start putting that icing on that cake. You start getting those things you want to do. And that's not in the too far distant future for us.
Yeah, and I had forgotten all about the 1 cent sales tax. I mean, I know you're able to tap into that in Logan County. Any other? I can't. Is Mount Pulaski in any other counties? I don't think you bleed into Macon, do you?
Yeah, we do. We have a toenail in Macon, but it goes by enrollment and just a student or two at best in Macon County.
Okay.
So we get most of ours out of Logan County, and it's the same for Sangamon County. We have maybe 2 or 3 students in Sangamon County. I think we get about $340 a month for sales tax in Sangamon County. So
I wish I kind of got that kind of a bonus check every month, but at any rate, and every little bit helps and all those sorts of things for sure. But Mr. Lamkey, that was great conversation. I know we weren't really planning on diving into that, but I appreciate you having that conversation with us. Let's take a time out here, my good friend, and come back with some more. Where do folks go to learn about all things Mount Pulaski schools?
Well, these things have changed up a little bit, but for sure you want to hit our web pages. We have great web pages at the high school, middle school, and that's www.mountpulaski.k12.il.us. You can also catch us on Facebook. If you go ahead and search for Mount Pulaski High School or Mount Pulaski Grade School, it'll pop up really nice Facebook pages. And right now, I'm going to give you our Twitter account, but I think it's in the middle of changing because we've got a new activity director. But on Twitter, as our sports get rolling here, you can find us at MPATHDIR, Mount Pulaski Athletic Director. On Twitter's our handle, and we'll keep you guys up to date on everything we got going on athletically and through our activities in the district.
Sounds great. Fred Lamkey, superintendent of Mount Pulaski Schools, my guest on the phone. More to come with him on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
FB.org. Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn slightly higher, beans higher, wheat trading slightly lower. September corn 466 up 2, December corn up 2 1/4, 477 3/4. March corn 491 1/2 up 2 1/4. September beans 1333 1/2 up 10 1/4. November beans up 16 1/4, 1321 1/2. January beans 1331 1/2 up 16. September wheat 596 3/4 down 1 3/4. December wheat down 1 1/4, 622 1/2. September bean meal 406.40 up 260. September bean oil up 92 cents, 66.82. In the livestock market at this hour, August feeders 246.42 up 55 cents. August live cattle 179.72 up 62 cents. October lean hog 77.95 down 1/4. Energy market September crude oil 80.82 down 17 cents.
Hi, I'm Dave Jackson, owner of your Clinton Save-A-Lot store in downtown Clinton, here to talk to you about our great produce department. We take great pride in being recognized by more and more customers as the place to go for the absolute freshest produce in Central Illinois. Our 7 produce professionals are very picky and won't put it out for sale if they wouldn't buy it themselves. Huge savings and the freshest produce are waiting for you at your Clinton Save-A-Lot. Hope to see you soon.
The start of school is upon us, and your kiddos need to get their school physicals now. CEO Paul Skowron here from Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. Call our family medicine clinic now before slots fill up to get your children's physicals scheduled. We're accepting new patients of all ages. Warner Hospital and Health Services Family Medicine Clinic in Clinton is ready to provide your child's school physicals as another way we bring compassionate care close to home.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Fred Lamkey, superintendent of Mount Pulaski Schools, my guest on the phone this morning. And Mr. Lamkey, I did not wish you a happy final first day of school because I had forgotten this is your final year at Mount Pulaski. I had Kurt Nettles on here earlier with me this morning. It's his last day, or his last first day in Clinton. So happy final first day for you, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, Seth. It really kind of feels like any other first day, honestly. But I think that'll start settling in with me a little later. It's fun that Kurt and I are going out the same year. We kind of cut our teeth together. He was a junior high principal at Lincoln. I was a middle school principal at Riverton. So we crossed paths several times. And I've been really happy to be able to work with him now that I'm at Mount Pulaski and he's down the road at Clinton. It's been nice to have him in my life during my career.
For sure. Yeah, good guy. You're a good dude as well. And man, these are going to be some big shoes to fill in Mount Pulaski and Clinton between the two of you. So how about the search for your replacement, Mr. Lamkey? How's that process going?
Oh, that process began officially in May. We're doing our search through the Illinois Association of School Boards. And they also work in conjunction with the IASA. And basically what they do is they come in and they survey our district. They talk to board members, they talk to teachers, they survey parents, and they get an idea of what our district is about, the type of person we're looking to bring in and what our needs are, those things. And from that survey, then they create an application packet. And then they advertise across the state. And basically anybody looking for an administrative job in the state of Illinois is going through them. Mount Pulaski, while we wouldn't turn our nose up at anybody, we're not looking for out-of-state candidates necessarily, but we'd rather have people who understand the ongoings of Illinois politics and educational processes and working with them. The actual vacancy notice went out the end of July, and it's currently out there. We're going to keep that open up through September. And then October, the ISB will come through. They're going to narrow that search down. And then we should start the interviewing in November to find my replacement.
Sounds good. So coming right up, this year will go by in a jiff, Mr. Lamkey, and you'll be on your way to retirement. What are you going to do with yourself? You going to take up some golf? You going to travel? What do you want to do?
Well, I hope my golf game gets a lot better in retirement, Seth. It's not very good right now, but I should have a little more time to work with that. My wife and I do enjoy traveling, and we have family in Kansas City, so we'll probably be making it out Kansas City a little more often. And I don't think I'm done working. I think I'm done working every single day, but I'd like to find some work I can do that fills my day, gives me something to do, but doesn't take up my life, if you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying. Yep, for sure. A lot of folks looking for that in their retirement years for sure. Mr. Lamkey, I've got about a minute left with you here, sir. I know you've got a big group of folks coming to Mount Pulaski. You're going to showcase your schools and community a little bit. What's going on?
Yeah, we're a member of the Abe Lincoln region of the Illinois Association of School Boards, and we're going to have a dinner meeting in the first week of October where all the school districts in Central Illinois will have an opportunity to come to Mount Pulaski for professional development. And it also gives us a chance to showcase our new high school and bring people in. And then also we'll be giving a presentation on our district improvement planning and the things that we're doing at Mount Pulaski that make us unique. And it's just a chance for other school districts to come in and get a little vision on how another district looks, how it works, and the things that make them successful. So we're really looking forward to that. Hopefully we're going to see upwards of 20 different school districts come in, maybe 100 people. And it should be a good evening for us. We're really looking forward to it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Mr. Lamkey, again, one more time, point us in the direction to follow along with all things Mount Pulaski Schools.
You can find us on our webpage at www.mountpulaski.k12.il.us. And then if you want to get some more information, maybe a little easier, go to Facebook and search our Mount Pulaski High School or Mount Pulaski Grade School, and you'll find us in all those places.
Sounds good. Fred Lamkey, Superintendent of Mount Pulaski Schools, my guest. Network News on the way on the morning show.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM W222 BG Clinton, 106.5 FM W293 DJ Normal Bloomington.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason.